I was so glad, first of all, when Christopher made the announcement that they were moving it to 4.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
just kind of absurd. I mean,
I understand why, and like, look, I am glad that they put things in place to try to limit resellers, right?
Douchebaggery.
Yeah, because it's obviously a hot ticket. It's almost as we speak. As a matter of fact, I meant to do this earlier, but I'm going to go do it right now. I'm going to go look and see as we're recording this.
I looked around. I think I posted in the group. I looked around like it was around 2 or so, and there were still maybe like 40 tickets left. It looked like. Of course, I'm a very bad judge of those dots on a screen, so it could have been way more.
And the way that Ticketmaster works, it's like at any given time, if people are shopping, then there are a bunch that don't show up for you.
Oh yeah, because they're in people's baskets for that. Like what?
Okay, so right now it says that there are 14, 12, 2, 13. There's probably like 150, maybe 200 tickets total. Most of those are up in the front and the expensive tickets.
Yeah, I did notice that the cheap seats went quick.
Yeah, it was crazy to me. So first of all, for those of you, because we are recording now, so some of this will be in the show at least.
Hey.
We are talking about the Anne Rice and All Saints Day celebration, the live event November 1st in New Orleans. The tickets went on sale this morning as Ashley and I are recording this. So first of all, I was happy that Christopher said, hey, yeah, 4 tickets is the maximum. It was good that apparently people got the feedback and he listened, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I am so mad at Ticketmaster, and I just want to put my foot down here. Because this is a perfect example of like, listen, no one is saying that there isn't such a thing as a service industry, right? And there is room for a technology company to streamline the process of buying seats in live venues across the country. Ticketmaster provides a service. It's worth money. So fine, give me some fees. But guys, on the cheap seats, on a $78 ticket, that's what Christopher listed. They're $96.40 with Ticketmaster's fees. What is Ticketmaster doing that needs a $20 per seat margin?
Real talk, because you're not giving us fucking real tickets anymore. Like, it's not even like you have to physically create tickets.
Dude, you're not going to ship those to me. This very specifically said this event is mobile only. You're going to put this shit on your phone, and that's the only way you're going to get in the building, people. I was able to purchase, Ashley and I and our spouses, we've got 4 seats together. We're in the first balcony. I think it's technically this. I think we're in the second row, but like slightly left of center. Anyway, I'm super excited about this.
They look good. Those are good seats, Joel. You did awesome.
Yeah,
Joel messaged me last week and was like, did you want to sit with me or do you want to sit with your brother? I'm like, number one, they're not coming to the event. They would not. That's not really up their alley. But number 2, if I'm sitting with Joel for this. I'd rather sit with Joel than Brett for this. Let's be fucking real.
Listen,
no offense.
I thought to myself, literally, I'm like, well, Ashley and I are going to sit in the middle, and Brett will sit on the other side of Ashley, and Kelly will sit on the other side of me.
So that we can hold hands when we need to.
And they can appreciate how silly we are. Guys, I posted this, I think, in a conversation thread on our Facebook group today. But like, genuinely, let's just appreciate what we all did today. Those of us that were able to take part in this and are silly enough to travel in the United States right now.
Really, for those, especially those of you that are coming from across something more than a state line, God bless you.
We paid $100 per seat minimum to attend a funeral. Effectively.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
That's hard to explain to someone who is not already inoculated into this cult, y'all. I'm sorry.
What's really great though is that when I started talking about this, like, Brett didn't bat an eye, and I'm sure Kelly didn't either. Like, they know our problems. They live with us.
Genuinely, Kelly, we talked about it. She's like, I don't go to live events almost at all. First of all, there aren't a ton around here other than like the college events.
Right.
But also it's like, I got 4 kids and a business to run. And like, I like music, but like my time for live music is not now. I watched my parents start going to concerts again after we all moved out of the house, right?
Right.
So like
they're like sweet freedom. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my mom and dad saw Dolly at Red Rocks, right? Like they traveled to Colorado to go see Dolly Parton at Red Rocks.
Dolly at Red Rocks. I bet she would sound so good there. Holy shit!
Apparently, in a moment of silence, my father screamed out where you could clearly hear him, "Dolly, we love you," and she hollered back, "And I love you too."
And I love you too, sweetheart. I fucking love Dolly.
But So yeah, she was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. And even with the high price of the tickets, we're like, it is what it is. First and foremost, I do want to say a thank you again to Nancy Ward, Queen of the Damned. She spotted us for this in particular. She was like, I want you guys to go and have the great time. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be really, really wonderful.
Nancy. I can't even express. That's right. Unbelievable. You're so fucking crazy.
Genuinely, though,
crazy.
Y'all. I mean, I thought about it today and I was trying to express it to my daughters. I fell in love with Anne Rice when I was 12 years old in 1993. And I love lots of authors. I love lots of books, but I don't love any author as much as I love Anne. And I don't love any other worlds as much as I love her fictional worlds. And the fact that we're going to get to go all be in the space together with, I don't know, a couple of thousand other people who feel the same way about her and her works.
That place is going to be fucking hot with energy.
Right.
Like it's going to have such a vibe. Man. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a very fun time.
I haven't read the fine print. I don't know for a fact whether, photos are barred specifically. If they are, then I will very discreetly use these Meta Ray-Bans that I am wearing and take a couple for you anyway. If they are not barred, then I will take plenty and we'll post some even from the stands. But then the big thing is, you guys should know, if you're not able to go to this event, it will be broadcast. I want to remind you, it will be broadcast after the fact. So, and as will our experiences. We're going to do, we'll probably do a little Instagram streaming or something at some point from, when we're walking around and doing things, when we're hanging out at the bar or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then also we're going to do a live recording there, which we will try to live stream. And if we can't, it'll be up almost immediately for patrons. So there you go, y'all. November 1st. It's really happening.
Fucking Coven field trip. Coven field trip.
So crazy. I was glad to see so many of you did successfully get your tickets today. So it seems to have gone well.
It only seems like a couple people had to deal with fuckery. It seems like it was a pretty okay process. I think it froze up a couple of times, and a couple of times it looked like it was sold out when it was not sold out. So I'm glad everybody kept trying and was able to get their seats.
And again, even here as I talk, like late Friday, looks like maybe 150, 200 and something like that tickets left. So like there are still seats available. Get in there. And what's interesting to me, and I didn't even look at the front because I assumed those were all the high dollar seats. They're actually not. The ones that are available now are like in the back of the front section, and those are the same price as the first balcony. So it's like the mid-tier.
So when I was looking at it, because I am nosy, and I was like, what the fuck is it? What's the difference between where are we sitting compared to? And so like, it was that front center section. And then there's boxes, and the boxes were all the high dollar seats too.
Yeah, that's a good call. Good call.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly certain that the Orpheum is where I saw, Mabim Bam several years ago with Kelly. I'm not 100% sure that that's the case, but I think
I'm sorry, you saw what?
I didn't explain that. Mabim Bam, my brother and me. It's one of my favorite podcasts.
Okay, so that's one of my brother's favorite podcasts, and he's gone and seen them live before. He loves them. They
do such a good job, and they do live shows for their regular show, which is just their three brothers, but then they also do live shows for the Adventure Zone, which is their
D&D.
real play D&D.
That's their D&D one, right? Yeah,
and they do that with their dad, who is hilarious. He was like a radio personality. Anyway, so excited that this is all happening, and so excited to see so many of you in person this fall. All right.
I'm so excited to see you in person in this fall.
I know. I was like, just like a whole weekend hanging out with Ash and Brett is going to be so much fun.
It's been so long. I've never gotten to party with Kelly. I am pumped.
I know, right? Exactly. I don't I mean, I think I've been in Brett's physical presence maybe twice ever. So
He's
I'm
so
excited.
Fun.
Very
He's
excited.
The most fun. We're going to have such a blast. Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal universe, The Vampire Chronicles, Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and the Immortal Universe TV series from AMC and AMC Plus. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join. We are the Articulate Coven. We're your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Tonight is a movie night, folks. We're going to be talking about Poltergeist.
It is only because we had something so fucking exciting to discuss the first 10 minutes and 25 seconds of this recording that I am not already talking about one of my favorite fucking movies of all time. Yes.
First of all, very difficult to spell. I have spelled
this
Poltergeist, Poltergeist.
Look, my brain doesn't Geist quite right when it comes to that. I always get the E's and I's in the wrong places.
This is a great movie.
Did you like it?
Movie. I liked it so much. First of all, I had seen it before. I confuse this and Amityville Horror. I was fairly certain I had seen one. I was fairly certain I hadn't seen the other. And I was thinking in my head that Poltergeist was the one that I hadn't seen. Absolutely seen this before. However, I'd only ever seen it on cable, right? So I'd probably missed 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there or something like that. And also had it interrupted by commercials and stuff. So was really, really glad to watch it through all the way this time. But the number one conversation that I want to have before I let you really gush over this thing is that this is a perfect example of how it's the opposite of our conversation about The Invitation. We both felt like The Invitation, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, was neutered because it was not an R-rated horror movie, right?
Right.
This is not an R-rated horror movie.
No, it's not.
This movie would not be improved by an R rating, though. As a matter of fact,
it almost got an R rating, and they fought it.
The one scene that sort of calls for it.
It's the face,
the
melting,
face scene.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's horrifying.
That one scene is horrifying. Yes, it's goopy and disgusting.
It's real goopy.
But honestly, the film would have been better without it. The film would have been better with a different sort of horror for him to have experienced and then to realize that it was all a hallucination and go away. I do think the idea of having that moment where we see that these terrible things don't actually hurt you in the way that they seem to hurt you is important, right? We need to know that the power of the spirits is not as unlimited as it feels like while they're going through these horrible things.
It's not as dangerous to the people that are not stuck inside the hell portal.
Right, exactly. But this movie, though, is, I had forgotten that Spielberg was involved, but as soon as I saw his name in the credits, I went,
he was heavily involved.
Yeah. Oh, it's so clear that he was.
Yeah. So
he didn't direct it, but he wrote and executive produced.
Yeah. And he wasn't allowed to direct it because he was working on E.T. and the Directors Guild. He had maxed out something. So this becomes about this movie, this becomes a really much debated topic about how much Tobe Hooper actually directed. But anybody that's watched Tobe Hooper movies knows that you can definitely see his hand in this. And also by word of all the actors, Spielberg was on the set. He was active on the set. He had a lot of creative input, but Hooper was the one setting up all the shots, setting up the shots, calling start, calling cut, da-da-da-da-da. So there was still input from Spielberg. And, but Spielberg himself says, I didn't direct this. He had a lot of say over it, but.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's the first example for him of putting this much control on a film while not being in the director's chair. And I think that's why it was hard for people to parse. Later in his career, we've seen him do that with so many projects, right?
He's actually really quite good at it,
Well, Tobe Hooper even directed an episode or two, I think, of the sci-fi miniseries Taken, which was Steven Spielberg. He was the executive producer on that, and like a major driving force. Same thing. I think he's got like big inputs on. He was involved in he didn't do the Pacific and Band of Brothers, did he? But I think he was involved with Tom Hanks on the from Earth to the Moon or whatever.
I think he did. Wasn't he involved in Band of Brothers?
He might have been involved on Band of Brothers too.
Has his fucking finger in every pie he could have it in. And I love it. I love Spielberg. Let me tell you, my life has been enriched by that man's creativity.
Ashley and I talk all the time about George Lucas and his works with Star Wars. We're both such big Star Wars fans, but genuinely, I think Lucas has had a smaller impact on film and American film anyway,
for sure,
than Spielberg has. Spielberg had such sustained success across projects and genres, where like Lucas got so caught up in the money machine that was Star Wars, we never really saw the rest of his cinematic output. If you go look at his early work, it's clear that he had crazy range too. But the difference between Lucas and Spielberg in that regard, I think, is that Lucas does not have the commercial sensibilities that Spielberg does. Spielberg just seems to know what like the beating heart of the American moviegoer wants to see. This movie is so mainstream.
He knows how to tell a story that people are going to have a reaction to, in some way. So he's such a good storyteller in that way. I think he's the most legendary director of our time. 110%. I don't even think that it's even up for debate on any level.
And I think people sleep on him sometimes because he's not like when I personally think about the best living working directors, to me, it's Denis Villeneuve, or I think you can maybe make an argument for Nolan, but I don't actually think it's Nolan. I think it's like,
it's still Spielberg.
I said the other day that it's Ryan Coogler and Denis Villeneuve. Those are the two guys that I think are the most interesting current workers, but neither one of those guys has the sustained, right? Like Coogler might be there in 25 or 30 years.
Right. Well, that's too what we're looking at. We're looking at the difference between, like a career of, we're getting into like probably 60 years damn near, I
mean, it's got to be close to that,
Jaws
right?
is 50. Yeah. Jaws turned 50 this year. So you're looking at at least a 50-year-long career that man has had.
Well, and he had already done, I think he had done small stuff for Corman, and he had done TV work. And then, but this movie to me feels like an episode of Amazing Stories or something, right?
Right. It's a small story. It's not a complicated story. It's all in this house. Everything takes place in this house pretty much. And it's a story about this family. It's a story about what's happening to these people. And you see it so much through, that's what's so great about it, is because you're seeing it and experiencing it with them. You feel that way. Like, it's almost like you're intruding upon something very private at times. Like, and you feel, what's nice about when the doctor comes in, when the paranormal crew comes in, that you kind of like, you like breathe a little easier, because you're like, oh, good, somebody else is in this with us, and it makes you feel a little less like, oh God, we're stuck, I
hadn't thought about that, but you're right. The whole film is very insular with the family. We do see people outside the house, even early, but your point of view is always, I mean, it literally starts with the dog, right? We start with
POV the dog.
Okay, first of all, I want to start right at the beginning. Opening with the Star Spangled Banner, I think is like such a cool, first of all, just the music first before we see anything. And then we realize it's like the end of broadcast day.
Right, which is like the thing that happened at the end of the day in America on your televisions at like probably midnight. Like your station would sign off for the rest of the night, and there would be nothing to fucking watch.
So when I was very young, by the time I was like, honestly, by the time I was reading Anne, we already had cable, and this wasn't really an issue anymore. But when I was very young, I do remember we had like 4 or 5 channels, and you could all of the local channels, all the network channels would go off. I think ours went off at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it was something like that.
None of mine went to static, though. Kelly and I were she doesn't remember whether any of her channels ever went to static. My channels would go to the test pattern.
Yeah,
right? They would play the Star Spangled Banner, and then they would go to the test pattern that would run all night. I think there was something about turning the transmitter off and turning it back on being a problem. And so, or like if they had an emergency that they had to break in the middle of the night or something, it would be easier to have the test pattern up. I don't know. I had this explained to me once, but I think the static, maybe it happened on some stations, but I think it's convenient for the film versus what actually happened. Yeah,
definitely. I would say. And of course, this is like this came out in 82.
Yeah. 1982.
I was 3. I can't really give you a solid call on what would happen at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Not yet. I was pretty close. The Star Spangled Banner, though, it like really struck me as like, part of what this movie is saying, I think, is like the hollowness of the American dream as it had been pitched in the early 80s, right? Like and you got to think like this is coming off of all of these gritty 70s movies which have broken the back of this propaganda of the American machine and like the promise of the post-war generation is over, et cetera, you know. Well, it's such a turn too, because this starts out, this family it's a gorgeous young family. Everybody's happy. Oh, a pet dies. And then we even have a sweet little pet funeral. It's still just a fucking happy family movie for the first 35 minutes of this. It's just like, enjoy this happy family. Even when weird shit starts happening, it's still like a fun family flick at first, you know?
Okay, I loved the little scene with the neighbor. First of all, I want to mention his name here. Michael, where is it? Michael McManus is the actor's name that plays the next door neighbor. God, what is his name in the film?
Bill?
He's his last name is weird.
Yeah, it's Mr. Tuthill. Mr. Tuthill.
Yeah, Ben Tuthill, the guy next door. So he's in a ton of things. He was in Smokey and the Bandit and The World's Greatest Lover and Kentucky Fried Movie, and he was in Dallas and Happy Days and Police Academy 4, Action Jackson, Night Court, Hunter, The Golden Girls. He was all over the place. But he's this little scene, though, where they're fighting over the remotes because both their TVs are aimed in the same direction. And so when they use the remote, it activates both TVs at the same time.
So funny.
Okay. And again, this is like, I thought about this with the test pattern or the static at the end of the broadcast day. Like, that's something that nobody would really experience now, except that is true about Roku TVs, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's Roku remote is the same.
Yes.
So you can go down an apartment complex and they're like radio frequency too. So they go through walls. So
yeah, you just fuck with everybody's shit, everybody's Rokus, TV. And they'd be like, I have a ghost.
It's such a funny thing though, because there are all these parts of life pre-internet, pre-technology, whatever. It's not
that are like not a thing now, you know? Like,
yeah, it's like so many stories you can't write because a cell phone would just solve it.
Hi, Scream. Yeah. Like every time we start a Scream movie and we got a landline there, I'm like, but who really has a landline now?
Right.
That's the thing that makes me skeptical. It's the now we still have a landline. I haven't had one in my house.
Everybody's cell phone has caller ID.
Right.
And call screening, right? Like silence unknown callers or whatever.
I mean, I'm not going to pick at the Scab too much. That is one of my favorite film franchises, but
how are you going to flush a bird, Ashley?
Oh, thank you. I think
was
that
just
every
planning
time.
on flushing this bird.
You know, like this is my gross thought. I've been like every time I've watched this movie, I have fucking thought that. I'm like, why? That feels too big to flush. Like dead pet to a certain size, you can flush, but it gets to a certain. Also, I think maybe if it has bones, maybe we don't flush it.
It's the size of the skull, babe. Yeah, you don't want to put that down the pipe.
Like maybe we don't flush our dead hamsters. We don't flush tampons, so maybe we don't flush dead birds. I don't know.
Also, I want to do a little shame to mama and daddy here. Not for smoking the joint in the bedroom after the kids go to bed. Because
love it.
Good on.
I'm glad
that
that
everybody
fucking
needs
scene.
recreational time.
Is that scene not great?
It's so wonderful, especially because they're sitting there, they're smoking the remainders of one and trying to roll the next one while he reads a book about Reagan. And I'm
it's
like,
so fucking 80s.
Okay.
I love it.
But this is the problem with our voting populace in America. They are so easily swayed by a captivating political figure and a convincing rhetorical argument to vote against their own beliefs and wishes. This is literally the president who brought in the Say No to Drugs campaign.
Say no to drugs while you're smoking reefer in your bedroom.
But he's a Ron Reagan, the president, the man, you know.
I love
Okay.
it.
Oh,
Maybe
God.
he was just interested, Joel.
Here's what I want to complain about, though. These two kids, the young kids, have an Alien poster in their room. That boy is maybe 10 years old. Maybe 10 years old.
Well, look, listen, we got to talk
Come
about
on, Daddy.
We got to talk about the fucking clown in the room is what we've got to talk about. If we're going to talk about this kid's bedrooms, we got to fucking talk about this clown in the room.
The perfect example. You can't have both a clown and an Aliens poster in your room. Like if you're past if you're ready for Alien, then you can't have the clown
you can't
in
have
your
that
room anymore.
No one needs that clown in their room, Joel. That clown is of the Satan. Like, I cannot,
It's really
that clown's from fucking hell. When I say I don't like clowns, they're like, oh, did it scare you? And I'm like, no. Fucking Poltergeist. Have you not seen the clown in Poltergeist?
Have you seen, by the way, the trailers for
John
Wayne
Cornfield?
Gacy? No, John Wayne Gacy on Peacock. Peacock is doing a John Wayne Gacy version of, I guess, what Netflix did with Dahmer, maybe, or something.
Ooh.
But like the stuff that I've seen teasing it is so, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to watch this now. And I don't even like that stuff like you do, but like, I was a big Manhunter fan.
Oh, that was Mindhunter. That was so good.
Yeah, Mindhunter. I'm sorry, not Manhunter. Manhunter too. God. But
yeah, yeah. I haven't been able to finish that Dahmer one yet. Like, it really bothered me. I couldn't even
start it.
It felt a little. And here's the thing: some of his victims' families were like
specifically spoke against.
Maybe a little too soon. Maybe a little too soon for us.
Also, it's Ryan Murphy, and y'all, Ryan Murphy's made a lot of good television. I do not trust Ryan Murphy anymore.
No.
Ryan Murphy is salacious for salaciousness' sake, and he does it. It's one too many times he's gone to the well on sensitive subjects, even speaking against his own community sometimes in a way that is not helpful to the ongoing conversation. So
yeah, he's a little iffy. Yeah. So, but Gacy's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, that's but I'm saying you don't need it to be scared of clowns is my point. Like,
there's so many clowns to be afraid of. This is the one. This is the one, y'all. Boys and girls, ladies and ladies, this is the one that fucked me right up. This is the clown. This is the clown. This is my patient zero clown.
I want to ask, am I the only one that closes all of their curtains at night? Like, they leave this kid's curtain open even after he talks about the scary tree.
No. All my curtains are closed at night. Number one, when you're light, like, people can creep in, look in, stop it, close your windows.
Listen, again, in the summer of 1993, I read Salem's Lot for the first time, and I ain't had an open window at night since.
Yeah, nor should you. Nor fucking should you. It's just common sense. Close your curtains. Close your curtains.
These workers digging the pool are the absolute fucking worst, Ashley. So first of all, they're ogling the 16-year-old daughter on her way out the door.
Sexually harassing the 16, which I also love her handling of it.
Like, and how
proud, right? How proud her mom is of how she fucking handles them is so funny to me. And it's just exactly like, it just gives you some insight into this family. Also, when they're talking about their ages, like when they are meeting Dr. Lesh later, they're talking about their ages. She was only, the mom was only 16 when she had the oldest daughter. She's 32, oldest daughter 16. So like this is a young family. And so having that kind of relationship with the older daughter is really kind of normal, where it's like, she clearly says things in front of her mom a couple of times that are like, oh shit, I've kind of said a little too much about what I do in my spare time.
Like when I know that place, talking about the Holiday Inn that they're in at the end of it.
At the end.
Like, you do what now? So let's talk about
me?
Jo Beth Williams for a minute there. Margaret Jo Beth Williams, born December 6, 1948. So she was in Kramer versus Kramer, of course, Stir Crazy, Poltergeist, The Big Chill, The Day After. Have you ever seen Poltergeist 2? A bunch of them are in Poltergeist 2 as well.
Oh yeah, everybody's in Poltergeist 2, and then
it's the same family again.
Yes.
Oh my God, those poor people! I don't know.
Joel, you haven't seen Poltergeist 2?
No, I've never seen Poltergeist 2. Okay, I
look,
guess I got to now.
It is not the cinema achievement that this is by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot more like special effectsy shit, and there's some shit that you're just like, what now? But literally one of the scariest motherfuckers in all of time is one of the characters in that movie.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to try to watch this now. Oh,
it's not
wait
great.
a minute.
God is in his holy
involves finding help from a Native American shaman.
Oh yeah,
right.
yeah. We go there. But okay. Anyway, continue. I don't want to. I was just going to
say though, Jo Beth Williams is like, she's one of those great quintessential '80s moms, right?
Yeah.
Like she's personable and she's fun with the kids and she's conscientious and she's relatable. She's also a little sexy. Like she's got the whole package. Yeah, she's hot in this movie, especially. But yeah, man, it's like. I love her. So I guess the place where I remember her most is probably she was the mom in Dutch from '91.
Oh my God, Dutch is so funny with Ed O'Neill. Holy shit!
Kelly's never seen Dutch. I brought this up around the holidays.
Fireworks scene?
Yes, that's what
fucking fireworks scene. I thought my father was going to have a stroke watching that. Oh my God, Dutch.
She's also in Stop Where My Mom Will Shoot with Sylvester Stallone. She plays the love interest in that. Anyway, she's in a bunch of stuff.
I know her most from this and from The Big Chill are the places I knew her from the most. Of course it was from this though.
She's really great in this. And since we're talking about her, we ought to talk about Craig T. Nelson for a minute. Coach.
Craig T. I have loved Craig T. Nelson my whole life. He's always been a dad in my mind my whole life. Yes.
Okay. So I watched him, religiously in Coach. It was one of my favorite sitcoms at the time. It was a really good show. And it had that good mix of like, well, especially the three around him and his two sidekicks.
Yeah.
The big dumb loaf
Dauber.
And his, and the short guy who was like his actual assistant coach. That whole ensemble was great. Mm-hmm. And like that was my frame of reference for him. I saw him in this a few times. He's really good in The Devil's Advocate. I'd forgotten about that. But he's great in that.
It's always weird when he plays when he's like in a role you don't expect him. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and he's Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's most known probably now as Mr. Incredible. Maybe secondly as the dad on Parenthood.
Yeah. People were really pretty wild about that show. I love Craig T. Nelson. I love these two as a couple so much. Like I just love the casting in this was so well done. The chemistry of these people, that quality, these kid actors. What's really horrible is Dominique Dunn, who plays the oldest daughter. She was right on the brink of her career blowing up. She got murdered.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, right so before this movie came out.
She got killed before this movie came out?
Right before this movie came out. Like not long before she was rehearsing for V, the miniseries V. She was working with another actor at her house, working on scenes from V. Her ex-boyfriend showed up, wanted to talk to her. She went out on the porch. He strangled her and left her for dead. She did not die immediately. She had to be taken to the hospital. She was brain dead. Like 4 days later, they took her off life support.
Wow.
Her father is Dominic Dunn. Her brother is an actor. Griffin Dunn. But her father, Dominic Dunn, after this, he was like a a reporter, like a journalist. He started covering true crime like voraciously after her death because the guy basically got off. Like he got like 5 years for like some bullshit, and he basically got off for killing her. And so her dad became like a huge victims' rights advocate and a very well-known like crime reporter. Actually sat next to Ron Goldman's family through the entirety of the O.J. Simpson trial.
Wow. Okay, yeah. That is the kind of in-depth information that we needed from you. So Griffin Dunne is the lead in Werewolf in London, An American Werewolf in London.
Yes, like, he is. Yes,
he's the guy.
Yeah.
I had no idea that those two were connected. God, she was 22 when she died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was just a kid.
First of all, hard for me to believe that she was like, that means she was like probably 20 when they shot this.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I genuinely thought she was younger than that. That is such a shame, man.
Right?
She's got real promise.
It is. She had done quite a bit by that point, and this was kind of like everybody knew when this movie hit, like she was gonna boom, it was gonna be on.
All right. You talk about like our 30 minutes of happy family movie. We barely get there though, Ashley, before we get these sliding chairs.
Yeah. But even that's kind of fun. Like, it's weird, but it's like, it's kind of fun. Like, they're giggling about it. She's letting her daughter do it with her. Oh, Craig T. Nelson's like, the fuck is going on in this house?
I'm with Craig. When he comes, this is, listen.
He is not okay with it.
I cannot tell you, like, I come home sometimes from a work trip or something, or I'll just have been to town. And then like Kelly will be waiting for me when I come through the door and she'll be like, hey, I had this idea. And I'm like, oh God, what project have we started in the backyard that I now have to help you finish or at least fund, right? That I felt Craig T. Nelson's face so much when he's sitting there leaned up against the wall and she's like, come try it. He's like, no.
Absolutely
I'm not interested in trying. And then pretty quickly, he's like, nobody goes to the fucking kitchen, actually.
So we can figure out what the fuck's happening.
Everybody stays out of the kitchen.
Which I appreciate. Because look, listen, I'm not staying in this fucking house. No, like, I'm not staying in this fucking house. I mean, I get that they don't want to leave their daughter that's stuck in the house, but like, we're not staying. I would not have my other kid in this fucking house.
That's the first thing, is all the other children would have been gone somewhere else as soon as the first girl disappeared. But also, yeah, somewhere between the chairs and the daughter getting sucked into the closet, we're no longer spending the night here anyway. Well, maybe Dad and I are investigating during the day. The
quiet escalation of the chairs is so interesting because it starts out, she's like, thinks the kids have pulled the chairs out from the table. Okay, so she goes and puts them back. And then you go and see her get under the counter. Like, the fact, like, this, to me, this feels like a one shot. And I'm just like, those fuckers had to have been moving so fast to stack those chairs.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she's under the counter. She's getting her like cleaning supplies to go, clean. Stay at home, mom, clean up the fucking breakfast table after the kids leave. And she comes around the corner and the fucking chairs are stacked like a table of cards just up to the ceiling. And she's like,
I just immediately thought of the props master though, Ashley, and was like, oh, I get to glue these chairs together so we can move into place in 30 seconds.
Holy shit.
I am down.
I'm so down for this. And then the crew like executing it were like, yes, when they nailed it.
Like a pit crew at the fucking NASCAR races.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's a really funny line though. While Craig T is responding to this not so well, she says, reach back into our past when you used to have an open mind. Before you started reading the Reagan pill. Do you remember?
Before you took the Reagan pill. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned already when we get our paranormal team coming in, and then it's like, oh, okay, thank God it's not just us. Like, there is really crazy shit going on. But I love how confident they are, and then how immediately spooked they are when they're having tea and her hand is doing this as she's trying to drink it. Yeah, it's fucking perfect.
Well, because they're so good at what they do. They really are, and they've had experiences, and they've recorded, and they've studied experiences that they've had. And when that guy's like, oh yeah, it was just
film was 7 hours long.
7 hours long, and you could see move across the room. They're like, oh well, how many events have you recorded in the room? And he's like, we don't go into the room anymore. And then there's just like open the door and it's just fucking chaos in there. It's like
bed springs are just swinging around in the air.
The record that's being played with the compass, like it is so wild. There's like toys coming around, like riding on each other's backs and shit.
Okay. Was this movie released in 3D?
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either. I don't remember ever hearing about a Poltergeist 3D.
No, I don't
think
that
scene, very specifically, the compositing on the special effects even looked like old school 3D.
Yeah, it's like if you watch the Rancor scene in Jedi. It kind of has like that sort of like edge to it. Everything has like a sharp edge. You're like, oh, well, that's where we cut it out.
Yes. Okay. Our paranormal investigator, which by the way, let's pull her up here. Beatrice
Dr. Lesh.
Straight. Dr. Lesh.
She's so fabulous.
She's great in all sorts of things, but in particular, the thing that I loved her in recently, she's in Network from 1976, which is such a great movie. She's been in a bunch here. I'm going to pull up her Wikipedia real quick.
She's a lot of stage work too.
Yeah, a lot of stage. Passed away in 2001. She was born in 1914. She's both an Academy Award winner and a Tony Award winner and a Primetime Emmy Award winner.
Hell yeah.
So she was Viola in Twelfth Night in 1941. She was in The Heiress. She played Lady Macduff in Macbeth. She won a Tony Award for The Crucible.
Hell yes.
She won the Academy Award for Best Supporting for Network in 76. Her performance is the shortest ever to win an Academy Award for acting at 5 minutes and 2 seconds of screen time. Ooh. That's all she's in. I can't believe that's all she's in that movie, but that makes sense.
That's just a little bit more than, that's not too much more than Anthony Hopkins was in Silence of the Lambs.
You forget that because his presence looms so large, but she affects Network in a way that it's hard to believe she's only in it for 5 minutes.
She's so good in this movie.
The Nun Story in 1959 and then Poltergeist. She's so great in this movie because first of all,
God.
The way that she empathizes with this mom, right? Like she comes
and she believes them. Like she believes them. One of the first things she says, like the first time crazy shit starts happening and we got the watches and things falling. He's like, one of the guys is like, I don't want to say it, but there could be a radio receiver and she's like, this isn't a hoax. This isn't a hoax. This isn't, like by that point, she's sure she believes them.
I love when she meets them and when she comes to their home. Even before she opens the bedroom door, up until that point, she's there for her own purposes. This is her hobby. This is her passion. This is what she's trying to establish as an actual field of study that could be verifiable and recordable. And so she's just out there.
No emotional attachment to the situation.
Right. And then she falls in love with this family and realizes the torment that they are under because they didn't ask for any of this. She's been chasing ghosts her whole life, or most of her life, it seems. But like this just happened to this family and God, why? Anyway, she establishes all of that and brings that across on screen in such a way that is very, very endearing. And there's just a couple of moments like when she's taking the evidence back, they've been there for a while and she's going to go back and she tells the mom, the guy who had his face melted in the bathroom, he's not coming back, but I'll be back. I'm coming back.
I am coming back. And so the way she holds her hands and hugs her. Then the scene where they're, I told you there's a scene in this that I think is as good as the scene where they're talking about the scars in Jaws. And it's the scene where they're all in the living room and everyone's whispering about, like it's that scene with Dr. Lesh and the mom.
When she admits to being, I'm terrified.
She's terrified. Yeah. She's like, I'm terrified. And she says, I suppose that makes me the most irresponsible person of my age I've ever known.
Too.
Like I've been chasing this ghastly hobby my entire life and I'm just an irresponsible old lady now, and they're talking about where Carol Ann might be. And she's reassuring Robbie, the little brother, that she's not dead, she's not dead, and at the end of it, Diane, the mom, is telling him that he's going to go to grandma's house, and yeah, you can take the dog, and her voice is just breaking, and she's smiling, but she's dying. It's just such a great fucking scene. It's so good. And I love getting to see the time that they let these women have on screen together too. Like, yes. I'm so glad they do not like cut short some lady on lady time. I love to see it.
It's funny. Okay, so I'm on our YouTube channel, you can find, and on our Patreon as well, I'm doing a watch of the original Supernatural soap opera Dark Shadows. And there was an episode recently, Ashley, where until the very end of the episode, there were only 4 characters on that episode, and all 4 were women. It was our 4 women in the main cast. There's only like 8 members of the entire cast, basically, and 4 of them are ladies, and all of them were on the episode together. And I was like, man, this would be really, really captivating and noteworthy, except for the fact that not a single scene in this episode would pass the Bechdel test, because they are all speaking to each other about the men that are not present.
Yep.
Yes, every single one of them.
Well, this scene 100% passes the test, and I 100%, love it.
100%.
And it's fucking why we need more well-written scenes that between women that are not fucking about men.
Well, and neither one of these women are helpless. Neither one of these women are searching for being saved, right? They are both living the experience.
Yeah. They're fucking scared, but they're not like giving up, and they're not like... Yeah, I love it.
She lays out a bunch of the rules, though, and you mentioned already she has the conversation about, well, some people think about this, about death, and some people think about this, and some people, I think, will get lost in that transition to the other side or whatever. Poltergeists usually connected to an individual. Hauntings are connected to an area. I thought that was very interesting, given our current book club of Blackwood Farm, where we're talking about a fellow with a ghostly familiar that hangs around him.
A little goblin, a little sweet goblin, yeah.
But also seems to be anchored to a place. It's connected to a person, but also has a place where he is most powerful. That's
because the more we learn about what's happening in this house, the less it does seem to be about Carol Ann, and the more it does seem to be about what happened. What did not happen that should have happened,
Man, okay, I know you watched this when you were like 6, 7 years old the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure I was very young when I saw it on cable the first time as well. And the other thing I was telling Kelly, more than seeing this on cable, I remember this movie from the excellent Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episode that they did a spoof of Poltergeist, right?
Hell
all
yes.
The same story plays out. I do wonder, for those of you that maybe watched this for the first time and had never seen it before, how early in the movie did you decide that there was a graveyard under this house? Ooh. And how quickly did you know that that's what was going on?
So
I think it would have taken me a while, honestly, to guess that it was the house's fault.
Well, you get, I know it's really, they don't give a lot of it away for the longest time. Now you get the clue, like you get the hell of foreshadowing of so they bury the fucking dead bird at the beginning. And then the next morning they're coming to dig the pool, and the dead bird gets dug up with the pool, so like you kind of get that foreshadowing there, but there's no fucking way in the world you would connect that immediately to what's going to fucking go down. And then when the jewelry comes from the ceiling through that hole in space-time, whatever, it's like a combination of like more like newer jewelry and
just
then
a few years ago,
some really old antique shit, but they don't recognize any of the newer stuff. So like you get a few little like hints, but yeah, no. When he takes him up to show him phase 3, it's like, oh no. No.
So that I want to mention him too. Let's see, that is James Karen.
Dude, I had to look it up to make sure that was not the mayor in Jaws, because he's got those vibes so hardcore. So that he owns the real estate company that Craig T. Nelson works for.
So he has been in a ton of movies, a lot of horror movies, especially.
Yes.
but he was also in like a couple of the Revenge of the Nerd movies. He's in Return of the Living Dead and Take This Job and Shove It. He's in The Jazz Singer from 1980.
Oh wow, Neil Diamond?
Yeah. Jagged Edge, Invaders from Mars, Hard Bodies 2. He was in Wall Street. Yeah, lots of movies that played late night on USA. Let's put it like that. He's in Congo in 1995.
Congo,
he's the president
of
the college. Yeah, he's in Piranha, and he was in Nixon too. With speaking of our buddy Anthony Hopkins, long career for this guy. Oh God, he's in Apt Pupil even.
Oh
in '99. Yeah, Any Given Sunday and 13 Days, Mulholland Drive.
Apt Pupil came out in 99?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
This dude's got credits all the way to 2017. Yeah, anyway.
That's a working actor,
great.
Y'all.
He's great in this role. Small role. Mm. But the callousness, this goes back to I'm like opening with the Star Spangled Banner, right? This is the hollowness of what we have created in the late 70s and early 80s. And we're looking at Reagan talking about how we're a shining city on a hill. And people are asking, well, what's in that hill that we built this shining city on, actually? Yeah. And the answer is graves, Ashley. We built it on graves.
Fucking graves.
And you didn't move the bodies.
Oh my God. Brett will literally sometimes just burst out with that line because we watched this movie.
Didn't move the bodies.
You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies, did ya? Like, we will bust out with quotes from this movie frequently. Like, he'll just yell, Diane, sometimes. And I'm like, oh, Brett, thank you. Thank you so much. Because literally, I have to watch this movie at least twice a year, I'd say. Like, at least.
I could absolutely see why it's in your rotation. Yeah.
Every October for sure. And then just sometimes literally I'm like, I just want to watch those people act their balls off for those first 35 minutes of this movie that make me care so fucking much for the next hour, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's really what happens is they set this up so well that you care so much. And they care. Like when he realizes what they fucking, like, he's so bothered by the whole, like, even though he thinks the bodies under his house have been moved, which they haven't, he's like, we can't just move all these bodies.
And
they're like, well, we already did it. We already did it once.
What do you mean you did it? In 76, right down there. And he's
Phase
like,
one,
oh my God.
right where you live, friend.
Okay, so I just looked up, because we actually just passed the moment in the film, but Lou Perryman plays Pugsley in Poltergeist. He's the guy who gets his face melted in the bathroom, and then
God
gets
bless.
scared off and doesn't come back. But it's interesting. I say that like he doesn't just get his face melted off. Hallucinating. He also gets bit. He's the one that gets bit when he tries to open the door.
Thing we yell at each other. You got bit?
You got bit? Yeah. I wrote down that note too. And it's interesting because of the juxtaposition, right? Right before that moment, Mom is on the stairway and Carol Ann goes through and she turns around and she says, she moved through my soul. She has this transcendent experience.
Oh, and it is so, like, that part is so fucking scary, too. The lead up to that moment is terrifying. And I have never watched this with headphones on before, ever. I did that today because I was just like, I'll watch it one more time while I'm working on this project. And so I was listening to that scene. The screaming, Carol Ann screaming in that scene is so much worse than you think it is. Let me just say that. Like, that was so horrifying and scary. And then to have that whoosh, that like, where she's actually feels her and that like, oh, like it gave me fucking goosebumps. It was so great.
Well, but she's so happy to know that Carol Ann's okay. She's like, I felt her. I smell her. I still smell her. She's here. She moved through my soul. What a beautiful moment. And then it's immediately followed by Pugsley getting his shit bit off. You know, he's literally got teeth marks in his side from the beast. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. And then he goes to the bathroom and his face melts off. and he realizes that's a hallucination, like I would have fucked off too, is my point.
Yeah, the other guy's handling the house a lot better. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Who, by the way, I think used to be married to Beyonce's mom.
So we're going to get to him in just a second, but fuck? I just noticed. So I looked up Lou Perryman is the guy's name who plays Pugsley. But listen, you talked about Dominique earlier. Mm-hmm. Lou Perryman was killed in his home in Austin, Texas on April 1st, 2009 by a 26-year-old man named Seth Christopher Tatum. Tatum, who had recently been released from prison for aggravated robbery, had gone off his medications and had been drinking. He later confessed that he killed Perryman with an axe. This dude got chopped up with an axe in his home.
Okay, look, listen, a lot of people think that this movie's cursed because instead of using prop skeletons that were quite expensive, they bought real skeletons.
No way. They brought real bones?
They did.
Aw, Ashley.
They did, Joel.
Listen.
Listen.
Okay.
So many people are dead that are involved in this movie.
So
Heather O'Rourke died at age 12 from a intestinal blockage. The little girl that plays Carol Ann, she died halfway through the filming of the third movie. She was septic. She died from a burst intestinal blockage.
Okay, I had her to talk about in a little while because she's really great in this too, especially to be as young as she is in this film.
She's adorable.
But she reprised the role in Poltergeist 2 and Poltergeist 3, the last of which was released after she died. O'Rourke also worked in television. She had recurring roles as Heather Feister on the comedy series Happy Days and Melanie on the sitcom Webster, as well as starring as Sarah Brogan in the television film Surviving, a Family in Crisis. 2 cardiac arrests, her cause of death later being ruled as congenital stenosis of the intestine complicated by septic shock. Good God.
This is one of these examples of I know a shitload about this movie.
Yeah, that's fair though. I mean, honestly, like this is the kind of thing that's crazy. So
no, there's literally an E True Hollywood Story. Do you remember when the E was doing those True Hollywood stories? There's an E True Hollywood Story, like the curse of Poltergeist. But they get into the guy that plays the Native American, or that is the Native American. I mean, he is the Native American in the second film. He died not long after that movie wrapped and came out. The guy that Julian Beck. Do you remember Julian Beck from theater history? Julian Beck from the Living Theater Company.
Oh yeah.
He plays the villain in the second film. Well, he was actively dying of like stomach cancer at the time that they were filming. So he literally died like not long after it was filmed. But there's a lot of deaths and accidents and things attached to this film series.
That's crazy.
And everyone's like, it's because they use the bones.
Okay, I read an article the other day about someone donated their skull to the British Royal Shakespeare Company or whatever.
For Yorick.
To play Yorick. Yeah, they said, I want to be Yorick. And no one had used, it was like 25 years, no one had ever used the actual skull until David Tennant played Hamlet and did it. And okay, here's my thing. If you will your body to a theater to be used in a play, then I think that's cool. If you just get your bones purchased
and they they bury you in a fake swimming pool. Can you imagine Jo Beth Williams swimming around that thing?
So that's the thing. That's my thought is like, how could Jo Beth Williams... Oh,
I don't
God,
think
the
she
agents
knew.
were not doing their job back then.
No.
Man.
I don't think anyone knew at the time. I think they all found out kind of afterwards. This could be apocryphal, but I don't think it is because I remember I remember seeing an interview where she was talking about it, and because I think she also had a bad accident at some point. Like maybe she like hurt her back really badly or something during this.
And there's one of those moments late in the film when she's gyrating around on the bed.
Like getting thrown around the room.
Yes, there was one of those where she lands, and I thought that doesn't look like that stunt worked right. Yeah,
that shit's scary too. God, that part's. I love that this movie still scares me. I am 46 years old. I've probably been watching this. It's probably been 40 years since the first time I've seen this movie, and it still scares the piss out of me.
Okay, so you talked about listening to it with headphones earlier. I had to rent this movie because it wasn't on streaming, and I don't own a copy. So I rented it on the Apple TV storefront or whatever. So it shows up on my iPad, and I was like, I'll probably just watch it on the iPad. Now, the reason I didn't was because I had asked Kelly. I was like, hey, do you want to watch this? This is one of the movies that Kelly actually got to see when she was too young too. Her parents would never allow spooky movies, but she stayed at a sleepover, Ashley, and you've got to watch a horror movie. Yep. She stayed over at somebody's house when she was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, maybe 6, 7, 8, something like that. And she saw Poltergeist and has kind of loved it ever since. I want to talk though for a second here about Zelda Rubenstein.
Oh yes, we haven't even spoken about her.
No, well, she just comes in about this time in the movie. Honestly, I guess we were talking a little bit past it too. But
I just get excited.
Zelda comes in as the medium here. She is just amazing, and she's the only cast member. She and Heather O'Rourke are the only 2 cast members to appear in all 3 Poltergeist movies. By the way, okay, what else has Zelda been in? Let's look at some of her other film work here. Teen Witch is the one that I was thinking of, which is another movie that we're going to get to sooner rather than later, I think.
That's so terrible and good.
That'll be our silly movie in our next batch, I believe. Teen Witch is probably the first thing that I saw her in. I'm trying to think if I saw her in one of these other...
Was she in one of the...
Time Master. 16 Candles. She's in 16 Candles, too. I forgot about that. And Under the Rainbow in 1981. What is Under the Rainbow?
Oh, isn't that about
the film's plot is loosely based on the gathering of little people in a Hollywood hotel to audition for roles as munchkins in The Wizard of Oz.
About The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that's the word. That's the movie I was trying to come up with.
Okay, she obviously had dwarfism, and I wanted to bring that up. I've got a note here. When she first shows up in the film, Craig T says, "So what side of the rainbow are we working on tonight? Is this your Knott's Berry Farm solution?" He asks the doctor.
So funny. She was actually a really great advocate for HIV and AIDS too.
Yes, outspoken advocate at a time
very early 80s when that was not a fucking thing.
Well,
like big time.
When it would ruin your career, like even people who were privately very pro HIV, AIDS, research and help and care would not say it publicly because you just did. I mean, again, Liberace was not openly gay, y'all.
Right.
So come on. Anyway. Good on her. She also was an advocate for people with dwarfism as well.
Yes.
Throughout her career. So she's noted right alongside actor. They say human rights activism is at the top of her bio. She's really good in this too. She comes in and she doesn't. I think it would be easy to just be, a little esoteric, a little mystic, a little over the top. But the care and the connection that she has with the mother in the moments when she tells her that Carol Ann's okay.
When she tells her,
beautiful.
Come down here, sweetheart. You're going to give me whiplash. And
she's really good.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Because this conceptually is a ridiculous, over the top character. It is a little person who is a psychic medium who's going to talk to your missing daughter that your house ate. Come on.
They have the best back and forth though, Ashley. So first of all, 2 things. There's an interesting line that she has when she's asking the mother, will you stay and will you fight with me? Will you never give up on this, et cetera, et cetera?
Do you have to do everything everything I say?
Will you do anything I ask, even if it goes contrary to your beliefs as a human and a Christian? And I was like, what is she going to ask her to do?
We talk about the beast, friend. People might get a little crazy.
But once they put the plan into motion, though, that's where there's this great back and forth.
And what she explains makes such perfect sense because it's like she's a light because she's alive. She's a light, and that light, she as a light is distracting them from the real light they need to be going to. And it's making them attracted to her, which is putting her in danger.
Well, and not just that she's alive, because all the rest of the family is alive too, right? But Carol Ann
over there.
Carol Ann has this vivaciousness, and also because she's so young. I mean, when we talk about this, sometimes children and babies, it does feel like they are connected with things that we aren't, right?
They see things and hear things we don't hear. Kids say the creepiest shit all the time.
The time.
Also, it's a little bit of a throwaway line. But like his boss, when they're out there looking at phase 3, he says to him, oh, one of your kids was born in the house, right? And he says, oh, yeah, my youngest, Carol Ann. So it's kind of like a little throwaway, but she was born in that house too. So there's got to be some sort of, I think that's the implication, is that there's some sort of energy exchange that happened with her in that home that makes her susceptible to this shit.
Or that literally the spirits that are trapped in this place and that are tormented because their final resting place was upset, they were present for the ignition of Carol Ann's light, where everybody else's light was just brought to the house. Carol Ann's light was birthed in this place, So, anyway, yeah, I absolutely think you're connected there. But once the plan gets underway, we're like, okay, what is this woman going to do? And she gets some tennis balls and they track. Yes. It. Okay. The closet is a portal to the living room.
So fast too.
It really does.
It's go time. We're going to throw these tennis balls. We're going to throw this rope and we're going to throw you down this hole.
Yeah. So that's what she's going to do. She's got a big ass rope and they've fed it through the portal and it's going down into the living room and they're going to tie somebody up.
Afterbirthy, it's so yucky.
I want to know what the goop was, because it's the same goop that the guy pulls his face apart and it falls into the
and it's all over them when they come through.
Yes, and honestly, it made me think though how much of the Upside Down from Stranger Things is inspired by Poltergeist's other side or whatever.
Yeah.
But the plan is we're going to tie this rope off, we're going to hold it, and we're going to go in there and get her and drag her out the other side.
Yeah.
That's the
plan. Because we know where this portal opens and ends.
And so Zelda's going to do it herself. The medium's going to do it. And the mom says, she won't come to you. Let me go. And Zelda says, you've never done this before. And the mom goes, neither of you.
Yeah.
And Zelda goes, you're right. You go.
I love how another awesome fine scene. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Good point. Actually, and I'd rather not. What if this goopy shit's deep? I might be over my head.
So it doesn't go exactly according to plan. Craig pulls the rope too early and he's pulling from the wrong side. There's a giant skull that they have to deal with for a moment or two.
Well, and she doesn't explain. She's saying things to him that are contrary to what she's told them. And so he freaks out. He's like, you said the light was bad.
She's like,
he's like, shut up. I'm not talking to your daughter. I'm talking to all these other fuckers. They need to go into the light. You need to shut up and hold the rope.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, I guess trust the medium when you've brought him in like this, but on the flip side, maybe explain the plan to the whole team before you start.
Explain the plan to the whole team. Everyone deserves transparency.
But they do make it out the other side. They fall through into the living room and they are covered in this goop and neither one of them seem to be breathing. They put them in the bathtub and I was like, first of all, I thought, oh, they're going to wash them off. But they don't dunk either one of their faces under the water.
No,
I'm like, why are you putting them in the bathtub?
Me. I never understood that either. That's always been a question mark for me, Joel. I'm going to be really honest. Why the bathtub?
So Mama got a rogue gray stripe for her troubles in her hair.
Love it.
I do too. Although she's sort of digging it when she first sees it, and then in the next scene she's talking about dye, she's reading the hair dye, and she's going to dye it.
Oh, it's because her daughter shit on it.
That's a very good point. That's
her
a very
shit
good
on
point.
it. Yeah,
the 16-year-old shit on it.
Yeah, Dana was like, "Makes you look old." She was like, "Oh shit."
Isn't it punk rock? Okay, but still. Ashley, this goes back, and I know the plan is not to sleep in this house tonight.
The plan is not to be in this house ever again, Joel.
Yeah, I don't give a shit that Zelda said it was clean. Right?
No, we gotta go. Already. We are not, that's the thing. My movie ends right there, because I'm never going in that fucking house again.
Yeah. I'm not around when it's sucked into the portal and the boss man gets to see that never happens. Exactly.
We'll leave that for someone else. My movie ended right there because I left.
Okay. I do like that Chekhov's clown doll finally pays off. Like, it's just been creepy previously, but here he's going to choke that motherfucker.
That clown is so scary, Joel. I swear to Christ, that clown fucked me up for life. Especially
like the ever extending arm that just keeps wrapping around, right?
Yes, because you can't get away from it. And then all of that with in conjunction with a fucked up closet. Like, do you think I was okay with closets after watching this movie? Absolutely not. I was a light in the closet bitch for many years after this.
Okay. I never wanted a light in the closet because I felt like that just reminded me that there's a portal of awesomeness and terribleness in there. Probably. I don't think you
can come in if the light's on.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough.
I can see you. I'm watching.
Okay. The end of this thing, when I do love, just again, let's applaud the delivery here because Craig's working his ass off.
When he so grabs upset. That guy, he's so mad.
You left the bodies.
You moved the headstones, but you didn't move the bodies.
You didn't move the bodies, did you? Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
He's so mad.
Family, first of all, I want to say I feel bad for Dana's boyfriend. Dana's boyfriend pulls up in the Corvette and then like drops her off, and she's like, "Daddy, Daddy!"
Oh my god, huge hickey on her neck. By the way, huge hickey on her neck.
Well, she'd been down there at the Holiday Inn on the highway.
They went to dinner. She got a huge ass hickey on her neck.
I told some parents one time that I was going to see the most recent Lord of the Rings movie, and then I took my current girlfriend to a hotel.
Well,
3.5 hour running
time. That gives you a lot of time. I was about to say, if you were seeing the extended version, you could go for hours.
So the wrap up though is pretty quickly. They escape out of the neighborhood. We don't really see what happens other than the house is drawn into this portal.
It implodes upon itself.
Our boss man says, "Oh no, what has happened?" I love that look on his face. Because on the one hand, you just from a human perspective, you'd be like, "Oh my God, how terrible and what a horrible paranormal supernatural thing that I've seen." But like, really, what he's doing there,
fucked.
Yeah, he's like, "I can't sell any of these houses, and I can't sell any of those houses I was gonna sell up on the hill because we can't move that graveyard anymore."
Nope. Yeah, and there were an awful lot of the neighbors out in their front yards watching all this go down because it wasn't quiet. None of this has been quiet.
All of the fire hydrants are blasting off, but also there's a gas line at the end of the street that's blown open and is on fire. You know. Okay, I wanted to talk here because the ending credits are really good, but the music throughout is amazing. Jerry Goldsmith
so good.
Is our composer.
Oscar nominated for this.
He also did The Omen. He did the Rambo franchise. He did a bunch of the Star Trek movies. He did the first 5 Star Trek movies. He did Planet of the Apes. Tora Tora Tora, Logan's Run, Chinatown, Alien, The Secret of Nim, Medicine Man, Gremlins, Hoosiers, Total Recall, Basic Instinct, Air Force One, LA Confidential, Mulan, and The Mummy. He did the fucking Mummy.
Fuck yes. That's our guy. He lost the Oscar this year, not this year, currently,
in 1982, yeah.
To John Williams for E.T. And they lost the special effects Oscar to E.T. as well, just to show all the E.T. crossover with this.
Man, okay. I think I probably would have given special effects to this one instead of E.T. E.T. is good, but the best special effects here, I think, are better.
Incredible, though.
The puppet is really amazing, and I guess that does count as special effects. You're right. Okay, Jerry Goldsmith also, though, gave us the current fanfare of the Universal Pictures logo, which originally debuted in the Lost World Jurassic Park. That's the one that we're still listening to, I believe.
Thanks, Jer.
What a career. And I did not truly appreciate him. I did not realize that all of those were under the same banner, but like
the music in this is really incredible, and it will stick with you too. Like and it does set like it sets such a nice tone. It reminds me so the very beginning of Fellowship of the Ring, you got that like Happy Hobbit music. I actually walked down the aisle to the Happy Hobbit music when Brett and I got married.
Perfect.
It's perfect. But like, that's kind of how the music is at the beginning of this. It's like, do, 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 do. It's like the happy family. Like we're driving our bikes through the neighborhood and we're drinking beer with our neighbors. And then it just escalates so brilliantly. And the music and the scary parts it's brilliant. I love it. I love the score of this.
On Threads the other day, someone said, let's see, Cheshire Theory said, are you vampire pretty, werewolf pretty, fae pretty, or mermaid pretty? And TF Author reposted that and said, I'm pretty like a hobbit. I'm 5'4", and I look like I love food. And I reshared that, right? I reshared that, and I said, I'm probably too tall to get away with hobbit. But yep, including the smoke rings, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty like a hobbit.
I'm very hobbit-like. Like I am. I went to the doctor, and she called me out. Nurse called me out. Was like, how tall are you? And I was like, I'm 5 feet. And she goes, Joel, look at me. She goes, and I said, I'm 4'11" and a half. That's my official Disney height. I'm 4'11" and a half. Okay, I round up. And she goes, bitch made me stand there and measured me at 4'11".
Oh my.
The audacity.
The reason why the music is so important in this film is because it does what I think was Spielberg's intention. And it's the reason why this movie is fine in the PG range, whereas The Invitation felt neutered. This is a film that is a spooky movie for children. This is a movie ideally aimed at the 11-year-old, the precocious 11-year-old who wants to be scared of the dark, but doesn't really want to be scared of the dark.
This movie made me a horror movie fan. This movie is it. That's what it's for. This movie is it for me. This movie is my gateway drug to the horror genre for sure. It's the first horror movie I really remember watching. I know it fucked me up. Like, I know it. Like, there are things in this movie that have stayed. Yeah, 100%. They've stayed with me forever. It's why I don't fuck with clowns. You know who's not going to get killed by a clown? Ashley Kate.
Craig T. Nelson putting the TV out of the hotel room at the end is my favorite thing about the whole movie, though. When he opens that hotel room boat door back up and rolls the TV out. Yeah.
There is a Holiday Inn in Vicksburg, Tennessee that we used to stay at from time to time on our way to New Orleans when I was a kid that reminded me so much of this Holiday Inn for some reason. Like, the layout looked the same and the sign, it had the old school sign. I always was just like, I fucking hate staying here. I'm gonna get
okay, you mentioned it earlier, but I didn't want to leave it hanging and not come back to it. So Richard Lawson was the actor who played Ryan, the other member of the paranormal team, the black guy. And he is, you were right, he was married to Tina Knowles, Beyonce's mother. Why did Tina divorce Richard? Tina wanted to be happy and thought she would never feel whole, cherished, loved, and respected in the relationship. But she also felt pressured to show others they could find a second chance at love. But ultimately, she knew she needed to choose herself. Well, that was in 2025. Like, they just broke up, I think, like not too long ago.
That was so weird because I was looking, I was like, I've seen him in other things. And so I was looked him up today, and I was like, holy shit. It's Beyonce's stepdad? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's absolutely Beyonce's stepdad. That's so funny, man. He's been in a bunch of other stuff too, though. Let's see. Most recently,
Blackula Scream. How about?
Yeah, no. There was another one down here though. Where was the credits? I was looking at something and I was like, oh, I know. Okay, he was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Yeah.
Four Colored Girls in 2010.
Yeah, he's been working still.
Yeah, he's still out there. I guarantee you the residuals on Poltergeist are pretty fucking good, y'all.
I would hope so.
Right? Like, this shit runs on cable today. So, like, on a regular basis.
I fucking love it. I love this movie so much. Thank you guys for picking it, because what a treat for me to watch my favorite movie twice this week. One of my favorite movies.
Okay, it was so interesting to me too how 80s heavy this stretch was. The Invitation is the only movie that we did in this run that wasn't from the 80s, but how varied the movies are, right?
Yeah,
like, first
it's
of all,
very true.
Once Bitten is a crap film. Like, we have some nostalgia for it because of who we are, but
it's
that's
garbage.
a terrible movie. Yeah, hot, stinky garbage.
Trash. Objectively trash.
And then you got The Hunger, which is like this weird avant-garde, like, should be a French film. I think maybe the novel even is a foreign novel originally. Anyway, it's very much influenced by foreign cinema. And then you've got this, which is like, it could be the Goonies, except there's actual ghosts in it. Like,
yeah. Or you could make this movie. I mean, I thought you'd have to. Well, they did a remake of it, which I have not watched. Like, I flatly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll be honest. I was a real CUNT about it, Joel. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to watch a remake of fucking Poltergeist when it is a perfect fucking film.
Actually, I don't watch Abbott Elementary, but I saw the funniest reel
it's
today.
So good, Joel. You should watch it. It's so good.
The clips that I've seen, my girls and Kelly watch it.
Good.
They watch it together, and so
I'm glad
I see it on in the house sometimes.
It's
but
funny.
There was a clip I saw on Instagram today from that show where the main character and her, not in the beginning, but eventual boyfriend, are standing in the hallway together, and she's speaking
Janine
about another
and Eddie.
woman. She's like, I'm gonna say a bad word about her, and he's like, yeah, no, it's okay, honey. And she's like, oh, no, it's a real bad word. And he's like, no, it's okay, honey. And she goes, she's a fucking cunt. And he goes, oh, I thought you were gonna call her a bitch. And he goes, no, that wasn't strong enough. It's like,
beep 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 beep. That's me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with standing like that on a remake for a film this good. Like, genuinely, I don't want anybody to remake The Godfather either. Like
it's
that,
me.
when they did that one, it's good.
This is my move. Like, this is my movie. Like, I don't think there's a more perfect haunted house film like that is just so well done. It's so good. Like, the only thing that comes close to me is what is it? The Conjuring, but it's totally a different style. The Conjuring is terrifying from like almost jump. Like, maybe you can have maybe 5 minutes of like, oh, we're moving into the fucking haunted house, like, which is fine, but like, but this is like, to me, this is just like the quintessential haunted house story. A great movie for your kids that like are getting into horror, that like want to watch some horror, but you're like, I don't want you to be like completely fucking traumatized. This is a great movie, a great gateway drug.
It really is. It really, and it just it holds up. I mean, genuinely, it holds up. Kudos, Toby Hooper, Steven Spielberg. I don't care who was manning the ship.
Yeah,
y'all did a good job together. Yeah,
very well done. Very well done. I'll watch it forever.
Yeah, this will go into my rotation too. I think, honestly, it's interesting because it is so positive and hopeful in so many areas, and yet still is truly scary when it wants to be too. Especially with a good surround sound system. I was going to say earlier, I didn't watch it on my iPad, and I was glad I didn't have my headphones on. But 2 or 3, I'm sitting right beside the surround speaker, and like 2 or 3 times,
sounds great.
Would hit. It's great. It's so good.
The sound design is really exceptional. And you can feel it even when you're watching it just normally. Like, there's some really great moments. But when you're like immersed in it, fucking A, like, I was very troubled by a couple of things I heard in my headphones today that I'd never heard before.
I hope y'all enjoyed this one as much as we did. This is a great one. Interesting too that I think we're going to bring this energy into our discussion to wrap up Blackwood Farm, because I do think the Poltergeist haunting question is interesting. Talking about our ghosty ghoulie over there too. All right, we will be back next week to talk about Blackwood Farm and wrap that one up. After that, we've got a live stream for you on the 27th. So watch out for the details and the event invitation to attend that in person so that you can give us some questions and interact with us in real time. And until then, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.